everyone. So in this video I will talk about the plotting in Matlab and adding trendline to it. So first we will plot a test results from an experiment. Then we will format the plot with different marker options, the labeling of x and the y axis, and etc. Then we will have the trend line. We have a simple example here. It says that there is a collision test on the car, and we have a couple of sensors at the back of the head of the robot, and those sensors show the variation of the load and then how much force is applied after the collision. We have point A where the first sensor is there, or the load distribution starts. That's x is 0, and we have point B where the x is 15 centimeter. And then after the collision we have the value of the load that is applied to the head. So for example, at point A we have 180 newtons, at point B we have 100 something, 89 or something. So we just know the distribution of the load at the back of the head. So the data is here. So when the point is 0, so it means at point A the load is 180. The point is 1 centimeter away from the A, so load is 180 point something. Till up to point of 15 centimeter or point B, we have a load of 188. This is after the test, after the dynamic test. So what we will do is that we will plot the points versus the test results, and then we will add the trend line to it. So let me just go to Matlab and then start a new script, and let's save it as the dynamic test. As always, you start with the clear and the CLC, and the points are from 0 to 0.15, but we have an increment of 0.01, so it means that with an increment of 0.01 up to 0.15. So you can see the points here, and then I will add the semicolon here to just suppress the result. And then I have the load. For the load I don't have any trend that I can put in a short form. I will just copy and paste it here and then tidy it, clean it up. So then it will take a little bit time. Okay, so it does not, so you see it's more than the screen. Let me just first run it if it works. Yes, it works. What you can do is that you can add 3 dots and then start a new line, and 3 dots, start a new line. So it means that it will continue, the data continues. So you can run it again and it works. So I will add the semicolon, and then I have the load, I have the points. Now let's plot it. Plot points versus load. Okay, I have it. So what you can do is that since this one is an experimental data, I will make it as points. So I will just, you can change the color as well. I will make it a black color and then star. So you can see it's now with stars. Or you can go with the circle if you want. You can go with the diamond. So whatever you want. So I'll just go with the circle. And then next is that to add the trend line. But before adding trend line, sorry, we should add the x and y labels. So x label is the name of the x-axis, which is the points, and the y label is the name of the y-axis, and that one is the load. Then we have the title. You can put title as well, and that's dynamic test. If you run it, you have it. So then the points, for the points the unit is meter, and then for the load the newtons newtons. So we have the result. Now let's add the trend line. For the trend line I will just use the polyfit. Polyfit means that you are fitting your data with a polynomial of some order. So I will just, so this one is by inspection. You can check by inspection that you need a polynomial for this one. And then let's start. First thing is that it asks for the x-axis, so that x is the points. Then asks for the y, it is the load. and then asks for the order of the polynomial. So for this one, I'll just go with the second order, but if it doesn't look well, you can increase the order up to 3, 4, however you want. So if I run it, so it comes up with the values of the coefficients of the quadratic equation. So I will add a comment here. So it means that we have a quadratic equation of ax squared plus the bx plus the c. The a value is this one, b is this one, and the c is this one. And also, if you put format long, you can see that the values here are actually, this is not exactly 0, but very close to 0 or whatever. But format short is good. And then one more thing here is that for Matlab built-in functions, you can add a left-hand side for it. So I will add a left-hand side, which means that a, and then I run it again. So now you can see I have a vector of a with a coefficient of a1, a2, and a3. So if I put a1, so this one is the first coefficient, a2, second one. So you can see that it brings me up with a vector, which is good for manipulation. So next one is that we had the load by the trend line. So I will just use a1 multiplied with my x-axis squared. But the problem here is that the points are vector quantity. So if you take the square of a vector quantity, it will be wrong. So what you will do is that you can take the square of each element of this vector quantity. So what you can do is that you can take square of each element. So first element square is 0, second element square is this one, third and fourth. So that's the reason that you cannot go just squared, you have to add this dot sign. For the multiplication a1 into this one, so this a1 is a scalar coefficient, there is no need to add by element multiplication. Then we have the a2, and then again points. So here no need to add the element by element multiplication, because as I said, so this is scalar quantity and this is a vector quantity, and then no need to add element by element. And then plus a3. If I run it, I will have the low trend line values. Let me just add the semicolon here. So what's next is that next I will plot this one as well. So let me just do that for you. The plot points versus the load by trend line. Okay, so when I do that, you can see the new plot erases the old one because it overwrites. So what you can do is that you can just add here the hold on. So it means that hold the previous plot and add new one onto the previous one. Let's go, and then you can see. Let me just run one more time. So it keeps the old one and adds the new one. So time is to add the legend for the old one, the experimental data, and the new trendline data. So let's add the legend. When you add the legend, you have to add in order. So first this one and the second that one. So first one you will add the load by experiment. The second one is that we have to add the legend of the trend line, so it should be in order. Okay, so you have the load by trend line and then load by experiment. You can see how it looks like. And then one more thing before I finish is that you can also edit the graph by yourself. You just go here, the cursor, and click on it. So when you click, the formatting of the plot activates. So you just click, for example, and the right click is you can change the line style to dash, and then you can change the line width to, for example, 2. So you can format it by yourself as well. And also, for example, you can go here and then choose the location for the legend, like you can choose it as the southeast, or you can play with, you can do whatever you want for this option, but it will be manual. So what it means is that you can, it doesn't save it. So if I close it, if I run it again, so it starts from beginning. Okay, so that's the reason that Just remove this one. So that's the reason that you have to, the better is that to write your own code here. And you can check it from, you can Google or check the database of Matlab for the shortcuts of the codes. But in any case, if you do it yourself manually, it will not save it. It will be only one time. Okay, thank you very much, and then I will continue the recording of the next topic.